Have you ever felt like you're just on autopilot? That you're running on habits you don't even really understand? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden engine that's powering pretty much everything you do. It's all about one single powerful principle. And trust me, by the end of this, you are going to see it everywhere. I mean, think about it. Why is grabbing your phone the most natural thing in the world, but dragging yourself to the gym feels like a constant battle? What is the deal with that? What makes one habit stick like superglue while another one just vanishes? This is a puzzle we all face, and a psychologist named B.F. Skinner was convinced he had found the key. And that brings us right to him. B.F. Skinner. He was one of the most influential and, pretty controversial psychologists of the 20th century. And he was absolutely obsessed with this puzzle. He wanted to get past all the fluff and find the simple, almost mechanical why behind our actions. Skinner's whole approach was, honestly, radically simple. He wasn't interested in your deep-seated childhood memories or your hidden desires. Nope. He focused on one thing and one thing only. What happens right after you do something? For him, the secret wasn't very deep in your past. It was right there on the surface, in the immediate consequences, the rewards and punishments that literally guide what you're going to do next. And what he found is, frankly, a fundamental law of behavior. It's like a mechanism that's running in the background of your life at this very moment, shaping your choices without you even realizing it. He gave it a kind of a technical-sounding name, but the idea itself, it's incredibly powerful. He called it operant conditioning. Now, don't let that name scare you off. The concept is so simple. We are all just learning how to operate in the world, right? And how do we learn? We get feedback. Our behavior is shaped directly by what happens because of it. It's a constant feedback loop. And here it is, the core principle in a nutshell. If a behavior is followed by something good, a reward, you are way more likely to do it again. The behavior gets stronger. But if that same behavior is followed by a punishment, or, and this is key, even just nothing at all, you're less likely to repeat it. The behavior gets weaker. That's it. That's the whole engine. Okay, so that's the theory. But how does this actually play out in the real world? This is where it gets really fun, because once you have this blueprint, you'll start seeing this mechanism absolutely everywhere. Let's look at a few examples. All right, let's take a super classic scenario. A kid goes their homework. The parent comes in and says, "Great job, that's amazing." That praise, that's the reward. It feels good. In Skinner's language, this is called positive reinforcement. You add something good, which reinforces or strengthens the behavior of doing homework. Okay, now let's flip it. What if the homework isn't done? Well, maybe playtime gets taken away. This is what we call negative punishment. You remove something good to make a behavior happen less often. So that consequence makes the action of not doing homework less likely to happen again. See? It's this constant push and pull. So these everyday examples are one thing, but to really, truly prove his theories, Skinner had to go from the living room into the lab. And to do that, he invented a tool, the famous, or maybe infamous, Skinner box. Inside this little chamber, he could precisely control every single consequence for an animal's actions, letting him watch, step by step, how a simple reward could completely change its behavior. And these experiments led him to this incredibly powerful technique he called shaping. He realized you can't just sit around and wait for a rat to, decide to press a lever. It's not going to happen. You have to build that behavior piece by piece. So you reward the rat just for looking at the lever. Then you reward it for moving towards it. Then for touching it. And finally, for actually pressing it. Each little reward guides the process, literally shaping a new complex behavior out of tiny little steps. So let's bring this all back to you and me, because this isn't just about rats and boxes. This is the operating system for so much of your own life. You know that little buzz you get from a social media like? That's a reward. And the reason it's so addictive is that the reward comes on what's called a variable schedule. You never know when the next one's coming, so you just keep checking and checking. That is shaping, live and in action, on you. It all boils down to this one, single, powerful idea summed up perfectly by Skinner himself. Behavior changes because of its consequences. That's the whole thing. That's the core of his life's work. What happens to you in the future is almost entirely determined by what happens right after you act. Seriously, once you understand this principle, it's like you get a new pair of glasses to see the world. It's kind of like a superpower. You can suddenly see this invisible architecture of rewards and punishments that's holding up your own habits and the habits of every single person around you. It really is a master key for decoding why we do the things we do. So I'm going to leave you with this question. As you go about the rest of your day today, just pay attention. When you instinctively reach for your phone, or you finally finish that task at work, or even when you choose one snack over another, just pause and ask yourself, what's the reward here? What invisible little consequence just shaped that decision? Because the answer, it's always there, just waiting for you to notice it.